Hi guys, back again, John Muckean here. Monday the 26th of December. Just about it's only going to be a quick one, I'm going to keep you long. Basically about the last video I put up about the stop and search is, basically I don't think the police were working on their own information. I think that they were working for a third party that has instigated the TI program on me, or the targeted individual program on me. How does a stop and search go from being a stop and search to checking the tread depth on your car? I don't think it works that way. Basically, yeah, there wasn't no one in the car park now. There's one out with her walking with her dog around the place. She's quite entitled to do that, but it always seems that when you come out, or when I come out, there's always somebody else comes out as well. Not that it's important. But the thing that I noticed was when we all stopped and searched, the car was searched from top to bottom. Nothing found. Then we were being searched. But then there was another police officer behind me on his earpiece talking to somebody else or a third party on the earpiece. Now, I think what the information was being relayed was there was nothing in the car. We found nothing on them. There have been no drugs, there's no knives, there's no dangers, there's basically no stolen equipment, nothing stolen out of us, which is a load of crap anyway. But what the whole thing was, that this was relayed back to a third party that is basically instigating the stalking and harassment on me up here in the Free State. And the police wanted to know then there was nothing in the car, they couldn't find anything else. No, just do him with something, just get him done with something. So I think they were told to check the car then after that. And to check the tread tires then, which I think they were actually told to do. And they found that one of the tires was defective, or that it was off-worn, or whatever it was. But what I actually think is that they were told by the third party to be waiting there to stop me and whoever was with me, and to cause as much aggravation and instigation, or whatever you like to call it, or as much hassle as they could. Now, £70 fine for a partly worn tyre and 3 penalty points, I think that is over, and more than over, excessive for a part worn tyre. Like, basically, yeah, I reckon, well, as far, if I was, previous to this, if I was caught with a wrong tyre, I was told to either replace it there with the spare on the spot, or get a new tyre, and that'd be it. Or that if I hadn't got it done within a couple of days, I'd be fined such and such amount. Not fined £70 plus 3 penalty points. I don't think you get 3 penalty points if you were stopped for speeding doing 200 mile an hour down the road, to tell you the truth. But this coffee is. But my theory of the situation is that they were talking across the earpiece to a third crowd. It doesn't matter. Just do him with something. Get him with something. But if you were stopped under a stop and search, I don't think they have the right to check your vehicle. You should be informed that we are stopping your vehicle for a vehicle check. We think your vehicle is defective, therefore we want to check your vehicle. Not been stopped for stolen property, or that supposedly been stolen property out of Asda. Because there was no way that they had time to get, if the security crowd rang the police, we were only not even 100 yards, not even 50 yards from Asda when we were stopped. It was just outside the car park. We just, like, from the car park down, it wasn't even 50 yards, and we were stopped. I'd say it was about 20 yards, maybe 30 yards at the least. We were pulled in and stopped. So obviously the security guards hadn't time to ring the police and the police to get from there out to there. They were obviously waiting in the car park to pull us over. Simple, probably standard thing, I don't know, stop and search like this, you hear this all the time. Like, it wasn't a thing that were stopping you to, we think you have a defective vehicle or whatever, we'll stop you. No, it was why were we stopped. But the thing with them too, walking up and opening the doors on the car, was another thing to aggravate the situation more, or to start off aggravating us more. But my theory on the thing is that whoever put me in the program up here, or whoever's running the program up here, we're talking across the earpiece to the police in the north to see what they were going to do when they found nothing in the car or nothing on us, what was going to, well, make sure you get him done with something. Check his tyres, check this, that or the other. Now, that's my theory. I could be wrong. But why was the police officer behind me constantly on his earpiece talking to somebody else? There was no need for it. It was only a stop and search. They had the car all searched at that stage. Oh, and the time to stop and search before that, how many miles was on the engine and all this crack and all this. What are we doing? Go away and driving over and back to Colombia, and taking drugs over and back to Colombia, so therefore that a high mileage on the car. I think you're barking up the wrong tree there, boys. But that's my theory on the situation, that there have been relayed information from here down to the north for the police, for to take the bad luck off the ones that's instigating this up here, to take the bad luck off them, but that we were still been prosecuted in the north. 3 penalty points and £70 of a fine. No, that's a bit severe to me, that's a bit severe, and then he was blabbering on about something else. I don't know. It's they have their own way of dealing with you. They're trained in all this. They're trained in aggressive, behaviour. To antagonize you. They're trained in all this here. We're only civilians. We haven't fucking a half chance of getting them, because they're all trained in this here aggression and to antagonize you and bring you into this, carry on, all this shit, to get her, more or less, to get a reaction out of you. They're trained in all that. But I told him that he agreed with me. He knew rightly what he was all about. But that's my theory on it, guys, and I think I'm 100% right on that end of it. Because how come it comes from a small stop and search to checking the tyres on your vehicle, you know? You know, a stop and search is stop and search, not a vehicle check, a vehicle, you know. You need a mechanic to do that, you know. You need a mechanic to check over your vehicle to see is it roadworthy or whatever it is, or whatever it is to say is that tyre bad or is that wheel bad or is that... The policemen are not mechanics. They, you know, that's not... You know, they shouldn't be involved in that there. You know. But that's 3 or 4 times every time I went down the north now. Stop and search, stop and search, stop and search. You know, over what? Anytime. Never got... I was never caught with anything, or anybody that was with me was never caught with anything. Knives or guns or drugs or whatever the fuck it was. Basically, this is the situation, guys. It's all a set up to either make you become violent or either to, well, which it is, to take your money off you or whatever. But 3 penalty points and a partly worn tyre, £70 of a fine and 3 penalty. I think it's a bit excessive, to tell you the truth. No harm, unless I'm, you know, way back in the fucking 60s or something. But my theory on it is that the ones in the north is doing all this to take the bad luck off, or to take the suspicion off the ones that's doing it up here or instigating it up here. And I know that's what's happening myself. That's what's happening myself. The traffic in the mornings. Now, I'm only telling you guys what's happening and what's going on. I wake up in the morning and you can't hear a bird whistling. It's that quiet. This will be on a separate note. You can't hear a bird whistling, it's that quiet. The minute I get out of bed, switch on the light up and on the kettle for a cup of tea, all you hear is a car or a van round the corner. 30 seconds later, another car round the corner. 30 seconds later, another one round the corner. They're all separate, not all together. It's all at the exact same times, nearly 30 seconds or a minute. They have it all timed, one after the other, round. Now, I showed you the traffic on the road yesterday for Christmas Day. I showed you the one headlight. So, like, basically, how can I make it up, like? I can't make it up because you wouldn't even think of it. But it's all the fuck with your head and the fuck with your, well, whatever little bit of brains I have left. I'm not that stupid yet. But anytime you come out into the car park, I know this is only minor oil crap. Yeah, the car park's empty when you come out, and it's going to be empty all day until the likes of me comes out. A targeted individual comes outside, and then you'll get someone children out playing. You'll get some other fella walking about the place doing nothing, only looking at you or staring at you, or you'll get someone heading away. This is the way it's all designed. This is the way it's all designed. But it's not a big thing, guys. I'm only explaining what's happening, what's going on, and hopefully you'll get a general gist of what's happening and what's going on. And this is every day they'll have a scenario set up for you, whether it's in Monaghan, down in the north, whether it's up here, whether it's in the shops. There'll always be some scenario set up or some skit set up for you every day, every single day. Like, how can you make it up about the cows? How can you make it up about stop and search? How can you make it up about the shopping? You can't. You couldn't make it up if you're studying it. I was walking in behind a man in the shopping centre the other day, and I look at him, and he had a hat, the same hat, and basically the same cut and the whole lot. And behind him, you'd swear it was my father that you were looking at. Now that's what they will do as well. They will put these impersonators in that look like your relations or your dead relations or people that you know, maybe your ex-wife or your ex-girlfriend or maybe a friend of yours or something like that there. They will put these people in your life. And you'll notice them, like, you will notice them, you know. Because I always noticed, I didn't notice that he looked like, oh, people say you're not right in the head, you're thinking all this. But, you know, how can you not notice this, like? I know his father, I know what he looked like, you know, and this gentleman, whoever he was going into the shopping centre. But they'll always place him in front of you. He'll always be in front of you or somewhere positioned where you'll see him. You know, like that other lad from Clonus there. Every time I go to Clonus, I see him. What was coming marching up through the shopping centre the other day, only your lad from Clonus, and just walked straight out in front of me. There, just to make sure that I seen him. Not that I care, and not that it bothers me, and not that he's quite well. He can stand in his head and do whatever he wants to do. It's not fun. But this is the program. This is the program that they put in front of you. That this is what should I say? I don't know whether it's stress or whether it's psychological warfare. This is the type of the psychological warfare I'll put it like that there. Psychological warfare that you have to go underneath. That you're going underneath. You know. If it's not someone, you don't run into people by accident. If you go out to do shopping there or shopping or whatever in the shopping centre and you meet a certain person and you're stopped them now, it's not just that you ran into them by accident. They are placed there or put there for you to run into them. Now, I don't know whether it's to get chatting you up, talking you to see what sort of mental health you're in or whatever it is, but they're put there for some reason or something like that there. How can you make it up, like? You couldn't make it up if you stood on your head. You know, excuse me guys. You. But how can you live a happy life and torture someone? You can't. It's not a thing that I committed major crimes or anything like that there or anything. It's nothing got to do with that at all. Excuse me guys, I have a bit of a cold. Don't forget either, guys, if you see this lad with a cup on the end of a corner, watch out. He's either an undercover detective or he's got something to do with informing or ratting or snitching or touting or something like that there. He might look like if he's begging or looking for a few shillings, but he has other things on his mind. Be careful. And be careful who you talk to and what you say to them. Because it's all relayed back. That's all I can tell you for the minute, guys, anyway, but that's my theory on the situation. I don't know what you think of that, but that's the way I thought of it. Now, there's vehicles flying up and down out here. You just can't see it with the frost out, up and down there, just last, like, since I come out here, you know. But I'm after spilling me coffee. That was my own fault. But this is the program. Like, this is the from stop and search to check the tread on your car, you know. But they were constantly talking to somebody else or a third party across the rear piece, you know, relaying the information. Well, there's nothing in the car, there's nothing on them, what are we going to do next? Or it doesn't matter, just do whatever you have to do to get something on them anyway. That's my theory towards the stop and search the other day. Alright guys, I'll talk to you later. Thanks for listening. Peace out.